What's up, door openers? Rachel A. Gerson here with Doorway to Self. I am here, as per the usual, at noon live on Instagram and Facebook, or if you're watching the YouTube recording, there, not live, to discuss the card of the week this week, which is I forgive and let go with loving ease. And it comes from, I left the box over there. It comes from the Moon Deck. This thing is awesome. I think I've pulled a card from here before, but it's just a very gentle, loving deck. Comes with this awesome little booklet. So actually I wanted to start out today. So this booklet is so cool. And it comes with different rituals with each card that you can do at home, which is so amazing, I think. And obviously, you know, I think what's cool is that you can kind of tailor it to your own, like, what you're needing, because that's what it's for, right? Is what you're needing. It's your healing. I just have to find it. Yeah, it does say page. Oh, wow. I just had a real ditz moment. Okay. So here it is in the book, and I'm just going to read it to you. So it says, forgiveness is potent medicine and one of the most important spiritual practices we can cultivate. I'm probably just going to stop and talk about each section of this. That's so true. And it's, you know, most of the time people think of forgiveness as forgiving other people, but really it's also, you can also forgive yourself for so much. And we're actually going to be talking about, hi, thanks for hopping on. We're also going to be talking about that a lot on Monday night. For those of you who are in Grand Rapids, I'm doing a workshop at the Wellness Collective this Monday at 6 p.m. Called Honoring Yourself as Your Own Ancestor. This will be the fourth time that I'm running this workshop, and it's so powerful for people who come. I would actually argue that this is probably my most emotionally powerful workshop. So if you're ready to do the deep work, and especially forgiveness of yourself and understanding and compassion for yourself and inner child stuff, definitely come on Monday. But please let me know, email doorwaytoself@gmail.com if you are doorwaytoself@gmail.com if you're wanting a space reserved for yourself, so that I can reserve a seat for you, because it is first come, first serve, donation powered as always, so pay what you think it's worth, or what you can afford. And yeah, so forgiveness is potent medicine and one of the most important spiritual practices we can cultivate. Because if we don't forgive other people, then we're not releasing ourselves from their energetic hold. That's first off. Secondly, if we don't forgive ourselves, then how are we able to move on in our own lives? If you're constantly sitting there in your own slump, beating yourself up, you know, like, who wants to go out in public with a bunch of bruises? And emotional bruises can be seen just as much as physical ones can, whether you think they can or not. So yes, when we forgive, we allow our lives to move forward with more ease. So what I just said. Deep challenges or past hurts may hold your greatest gifts and can be doorways to incredible insight, growth, and compassion. So we can learn from ourselves. As soon as we take that time to forgive and to say, okay, hey, Mike, thanks for hopping on. As soon as we take that time to forgive and to say, you know what, it's okay. I have compassion for you. I understand you. Or I have compassion for myself. I understand myself and where I was at in this moment. As soon as we can say that, it allows us to take a step back and to look at the situation from the outside in, rather than being wrapped up in it. And when we are able to take a step back from ourselves and back from our lives, it's a lot easier for us to be able to say, oh, you know what, that happened purposefully. That happened for a reason. You know, I don't know. What are some things that people don't forgive themselves for? I lied to my best friend about taking $20 from their purse. Yeah, that's a sucky thing to do. You lied, you stole. That's awful. But you can still forgive yourself for it. And you can still look back on it and say, okay, well, you know what? I really needed that money to go buy the Adderall that I was addicted to. And I really needed to be addicted to that Adderall because it's, you know, coming out of that addiction is what really woke me up to my purpose. You know, there are all these things that we can beat ourselves up for. You know, extramarital affairs, how we look, how we interact with people. I had a client in the other day who was talking about how, you know, it's really hard for her to step away from situations after they happen, that she's always going over them in her head of like, you know, oh, I wonder if I said XYZ, if it offended so-and-so, or I wonder if when I did such and such yoga pose, if it triggered so-and-so. Hey, Heather, thanks for hopping on. Hi, Maria, thank you for coming on. So, you know, there are all of these things that we can look at and say, oh my gosh, I was such a terrible human being, you know, and beat ourselves up for that. But really, when we take that step back and we take that step to forgive ourselves and to move through it and to understand where we were coming from, because there's always motive. There is always motive behind whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's good or bad. And I think even to judge it as good or bad is not the greatest thing to do either, because it's never black or white. It's always somewhere in the middle. There's always some gray area, you know. Maybe you helped that guy to cheat on his wife, or that woman to cheat on her husband. Maybe you helped them to do that because you needed to feel validated in that way at that point in your life. And maybe you needed to do that because they needed to take the time to figure out that their relationship was not good and they needed to do something about it. You know, there's always reasons behind these things. It's never good or bad. It's always in between. There's always, and it's not necessarily a justification either. It's just, you know, you're at that place in your life and that's where you're at, and that's okay. And when you move past that, you know, okay, I want to make this really clear. Your actions are not okay, but the fact that you're taking the steps to do those things because you're learning for yourself, that's what's okay. I'm going to flip this light on because I feel like it's may help potentially. I know I'm a little dark on this side of my face. So let's see. Hey, Shannon. Okay, let's see. So when you forgive yourself or others, you say yes to life and open up to something more aligned. So like I was saying, oh, that did help. Like I was saying, you know, when you forgive yourself, you're able to take that step back. You're able to say, okay, yes, like this is what I was doing. This is why I did it. This is why it was not okay morally for me to do, or ethically with my standards or with other people's standards or wherever you're measuring this. And you're able to say, and I understand why I did it. And I'm able to forgive myself for doing it because of those reasons. And I can take the steps now to learn how to act differently when I'm feeling whatever I was feeling when I did this thing, or when I'm yeah, you know, you can hold yourself in a different way. You can find healthier, healthier, I don't want to say escape routes, methods, healthier methods to be able to cope with whatever emotions you're needing to express or feel or dive into, or whatever it is you're doing. Although we may want the other to apologize first, we can't control one another. If you've ever worked with me, there's 100% chance that you have heard me say, the only person you have full control over is yourself. And that's so true. And here's the thing is, when we don't forgive the other person, if there is another person in this scenario who you're really upset with and you're like, I'm holding a grudge, you know, then it basically they have power over you. When we're looking at this energetically, let's say the book is you and the card is them, okay? So when we're looking at this energetically, here's what's happening. They did this thing, you're upset about it, and you're like, nah, I'm not going to forgive you. Well, what we think of happening when we do that is we think of ourselves pulling away. In reality, what's happening is they're pulling us into them. They're pulling us into their game. And so energetically, that's what it looks like, is you're actually more aligned with them and their energy and their frequency when you don't forgive them. I'm not saying forgiveness doesn't take time. It absolutely does. You know, you have to go, this is your process. You know, the other person really does not have much to do with you forgiving them. It's your process and it's your choice. And I also want to make the distinction between forgiving someone and completely abandoning your boundaries. You can very easily forgive someone and say, hey, I accept you, I forgive you for what you did, but my boundary is still very clear that I don't want you in my life anymore. Or that we're going to have to take some time to, hi, thanks for coming on. Or that we're going to have to take some time to really build up this trust again. Hi, thanks for watching. So, you know, it's really, like, there's that fine line. Please don't confuse that. There's such a huge difference between forgiveness and staying true to your own boundaries and your own truth in that process. And so just make sure that when you're forgiving someone, you're not confusing that. I know it's all complex and intertwined and complicated, but here we are. So, life. All right, let's see. By saying no to the harboring of negativity and suffering, we take full responsibility for how we feel, clean up disharmony within ourselves, and allow acceptance and love to prevail. So yeah, really, when we're not forgiving someone, it's on us. It's our own feelings that we're harboring. And it's honestly, it's kind of a power trip. It's kind of a control method too. You know, it's saying, I don't forgive you, and so therefore, like, you're going to be at my mercy until I forgive you. So really, it's kind of a way of needing to control them and have them under your thumb. So what's an appropriate time frame to forgive someone? Because the thing is like, yeah, it might not happen right away. But, you know, I mean, I'm not saying to completely ignore, like, what you're feeling. Don't completely ignore your own pain and your own hurt, but those are for you to delve into. It has nothing to do with them. Yes, they caused it. Yes, they triggered it. But it's really a moment to look into that for yourself. I don't have an answer for you. I'm going to be super honest right now. I don't have an answer for you as to when an appropriate time to forgive someone is. I will say that there is an energetically appropriate time. And the energetically appropriate time is as soon as you feel like you're not forgiving them to get back at them, or you're not forgiving them out of resentment, or you're not forgiving them because you want control over them, or you're not forgiving them because you want something from them, or you feel like they need to make it up, or whatever it is, that's when it's too long. That's when you've taken too much time, and it's time to get on that forgiveness train. So what does it say next? What does it say next? Surrender control, let go of blame, and receive the underlying teaching. So even if somebody does tick you off or hurt you really, really badly, and I mean really badly, like there are some awful, awful ways that people can hurt other people. People can kill people right in front of each other, right? Like that's really awful. There's some sort of teaching in that, though. What did you need to learn that that's something you never wanted to see? What did you need to learn that that's, you know, it's time for you to advocate for other people? Hi, Jenny. Thanks for coming on. You know, what did you need to learn from that? And obviously most of us are not in that extreme of a circumstance. You know, most of us are in circumstances where it's kind of more of like, you know, what did you need to learn from that person stealing your business name? Or what did you need to learn from that person who lied to you or cheated on you or stole from you or punched you in an alley? What did you need to learn from them? And I don't mean to be so like nonchalant about this. I know that this is some big stuff. It's nothing necessarily to be joking around about, but it's true. These are all things, and no matter the magnitude, there's always something to learn from them. It is ant season, and I am pretty positive that I have an ant in my pants right now. So that's what's going on. If you see me fidgeting, I'm trying very, very hard to dig it out. Yes, Facebook Live. This is what y'all love about live, is this ant in the pants stuff, because you can't like, oh my gosh. Anyways, let's see. You're ready to take the first step. Bring love into your own being in this very moment. Jenny says, literally laughing out loud. Yeah, I'm literally like, and it's so funny because there are only like 10 ants and they're all in super random places. Like normally you see ants in a line, and they're all just kind of like where my plants are, which is where I normally sit. But it's funny because I'll like randomly just see one crawl like next to the laptop, and I'm like, so random. So yeah, I just felt one wriggling in my undies. It's very uncomfortable. I think it's gone. Oh goodness. So yeah. All right. So here's the ritual. Is a forgiveness prayer. Now they use like a Hawaiian ritual of forgiveness, blah, blah. I'm not gonna get into the whole ethics of cultural appropriation and all of that. I feel like that's just a whole other day's worth of video. Like, I have so many thoughts and feelings about that. I feel like there's such, again, just this really fine line between cultural appropriation and learning from a culture, and taking the time to really learn from it. So I don't know. I have my thoughts and feelings. But anyways, the gist of this one is nice to take for yourself. So, and actually they don't use like the actual Hawaiian ritual. I think it just inspired them. So it says, I'm not even going to pronounce this right at all. Okay. I think it's Ho'oponopono. Yeah, if you're Hawaiian, you can laugh at me right now. It's fine. Is a Hawaiian ritual of forgiveness. It means to make right all of your current and past relations. Use this prayer to resolve and inspire healing on every level. When forgiveness feels challenging, remember that you are in fact choosing to no longer suffer from a current or past problem and taking responsibility for what you harbor within. So again, forgiveness is about you. It's not about the other person. It really has nothing to do with the other person. The only person that you are harming by harboring feelings for another is yourself. So yeah. This prayer works whether you are seeking self-forgiveness or to forgive another, and is a way for you to clear energy. When any unsettling feeling or situation arises, repeat this prayer as often as necessary until the negative charge completely dissolves. Words can really heal. They can only heal if you believe them. So that's my challenge to you today. All of y'all who have been doing affirmations over and over and over and over, and they're not working. Actually, I shouldn't say if you believe them, because sometimes you can say things over and over and finally you believe them. It's more about the energy that you're giving them. That's what I meant to say. Words only work with the energy that you are giving them. If you are putting intention behind your words that they're going to work in the way that you're wanting them to, or in the way that's going to heal you most, that's when they're going to work. Okay, so it says, visualize the persons and feelings and actions you want to release and forgive. If working on forgiving another person, imagine that you're together in a healing circle of light, each connected to your higher self, your hearts beaming with golden radiance. You can also see this as a solo journey, holding your own hand. And you can actually physically do that too, which can be so beautiful and rewarding. The thing is happening with my laptop again, so here comes my phone. Eye contact's gonna be weird, y'all. So I'm gonna do my best. Repeat the following prayer several times, taking a deep breath in between each round. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And you can repeat it as many times as is necessary. And you can continue this throughout the day and daily if necessary as well, until you feel resolved and you feel your heart soften. Because that's what forgiveness truly is. If you've truly, truly forgiven somebody, you felt that blossom in the heart. You have felt that surrender. You've felt that letting go. Even our card this week, where'd it go? Even our card this week, I forgive and let go with loving ease. Look at her. Look at the way that she's arching her back. Look at the way that her chest is completely open. So many of you commented on this on Facebook and Instagram at Doorway to Self. So many of you commented on this saying what a gorgeous picture it is. And it is a beautiful picture. But it's because it's what so many of us want to achieve, is this complete and utter heart-opening surrender. And I'm not saying that to be kitschy, and I'm not saying that to be like all up in the game of like this new spiritual fad crap, okay? I'm saying that because that's what the truth is. We all just want this. So many of us are walking around nowadays, myself included, because what working at computers does. So many of us walk around hunched over, closing this stuff off. And we do it partially because we're conditioned to, because that's what society has told us to do, because that's what working over a computer or a desk or hunching in to talk to someone, cough, cough, life coaches, counselors, metaphysical practitioners, that's what all that stuff has conditioned our bodies to do. But it's also an energetic thing. People are afraid of opening up. People are afraid. It's our armor. We're guarding our hearts when we're hunched like this. And actually, my hunching started in the 3rd grade. I can pinpoint for you exactly when my hunching started. And it started when a classmate of mine, she was like the popular girl, because yes, in Los Angeles, in the 3rd grade, there is popularity in the 3rd grade. That is a thing. Okay? Just saying. Because that's where I grew up. I wanted to be popular. I was like the least popular kid in my class. I wanted to be popular, and so I invited her over my house for a play date. Wasn't that cute? And we literally spent 3 hours, her teaching me how to be a cool kid. And the number one thing was that I was standing up too straight and I needed to slouch. That was the number one thing. And ever since then, I have hunched my back. More so now out of habit and my body training than because I'm wanting to look cool, because I understand how super uncool that is now. But, it just goes to show you that societally it's not cool to open up because people are afraid. So, my challenge for you today, your homework this weekend and for the rest of your lives, is to practice surrendering in that way, and to practice standing up or sitting up a little bit straighter, to practice really opening this space up and being present and surrendering and opening. And also when you do that, you're more in alignment with yourself too. So your ability to access your own love isn't guarded. Because when you're doing this, it's guarded, even from yourself. Even though you're protecting this. You're protecting it, but you're also missing out on your own stuff. I'm working on it. Can you? So that's what's... Oh. Oops, I pressed a button I shouldn't have. So that's what this card really is. I forgive and let go with loving ease. Yeah. And what I love about these cards too is that they're also affirmations, so you can use them however you need to, and whenever you need to. I forgive and let go with loving ease. When you're feeling trapped within yourself, when you're feeling trapped in this turmoil of resentment and rage for another person, you can turn to that affirmation, I forgive and let go with loving ease. And not like the movies of like, okay, I have to say my affirmation. I forgive and let go with loving ease. I forgive and and they're like popping their Xanax and like going crazy or whatever. No, that's not what this is about. This is about like looking within and being like, okay, what's going on with me? Why am I having trouble letting go of this? Why am I holding on to this? Why am I putting so much energy into this situation? And then also looking at them and saying, where are they at right now? What will make it a little bit easier for me to let go, to forgive, to understand, to be compassionate, to know that they're human, and to play with that, and to say, you know what? Okay. No, it's not okay that they dumped a bucket of cold water on my head for no reason. But I'm going to look at where they're at in life and understand that they're vibrating in a place where it's cool to play pranks on random people who are walking down the street. I don't even know where this example is coming from. This has never happened to me in my life. I don't know. It's just coming, guys. It's just, I'm just going with it. You know, it's more about understanding, taking that time to be compassionate and to understand where is it that they're coming from. You know, Fred is asleep. Where is it that they're coming from, and how can that help you to do this? So, or where is it that you're coming from? Self-forgiveness, too. Where are you coming from? Why are you where you're at? How can you do this for yourself? Yeah. That's the most important one. Because if we can't forgive ourselves, then we really, really can't move on. So, yeah. I think that's today. This week, I think that's this week's card. Wow, can't talk. Okay, you can find this recording reposted on YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I highly suggest you do so, because all of these videos go on there. Over the summer, I'm hoping to make more that are not live, that are like actually just on YouTube. And then also all of the guided meditations for the new moon are up there as well. And once I get 100 subscribers, once I get 100 subscribers, Doorway to Self will have its own channel, URL. So that's pretty important, because then you guys can search and find videos a lot more easily, and you can tell your friends how to find videos more easily. And yeah, also the 100th subscriber will get a free bottle of their Essence potion of choice from Doorway to Self, sent to them in mail. So that's pretty cool. And I'm almost at 500 likes on Facebook, which is super exciting. Only 12 more to go, and whoever the 500th like is will also get a free potion bottle sent to their door. So get your friends a liking and get Doorway to Self spread around, because if you believe in psychic education, that's, you know, this is how to get the word out. You know, if you agree with my teachings. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, guys. I'm like delirious and Antville and falling asleepness and stuff. And grad school final season, that's also a thing. So on that note, actually, if you are really wanting to get out and have some fun tonight, I will be in Lansing at the Avenue Cafe this evening, performing with my brother's band. They're called Magic Dads, and we're opening up for these cool guys. Desmond Jones, they're awesome. If you haven't heard of them, you should definitely check them out. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Jazz, funk, fusion, jam band. Yeah, they're super, super, super good. And so yeah, we're going to be opening for them tonight, and it's really exciting. I'll be doing improv the entire time, and that is honestly one of my very, very favorite forms of healing for people in general, because I just channel. It just comes through, and so it's just like stuff in tones and sounds, words that cut deep for myself and others. So yeah, if you can make it out to the Avenue Cafe this evening, Friday, 420, would love to see you guys. And yeah, that's about it. If you haven't already, like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to YouTube, Doorway to Self. And also you can find me on patreon.com/doorway-to-self and support psychic education through supporting me monetarily. So I would really appreciate that actually a lot, so that we can keep going with these. Anyways, much love, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will have the word of the week for next week out on Monday for you guys on Instagram and Facebook, unless you are on my Patreon page, in which case you will get to see it early on Sunday afternoon because y'all are special. Okay. Love you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.